Welcome back. We're at SEMA 2024 and we've got Mike Finnegan from Finnegan's Garage. Great to catch up.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And Dave from CVF. We're partnered on a drive system that we're going to showcase very shortly. But firstly, Mike, let's understand the background on this spectacular build. It looks brand new.
Oh, well, it was fun. It was one of those, I shouldn't be on the internet shopping for cars late at night because you end up with things you weren't looking for. I have search terms saved, so I get notifications on things I don't need, like engine swap is one of them, but low miles was another one. And so this thing popped up on a Facebook group. It had a little over 12,000 miles on it. And I thought, that there's no way that's true. So I went down the rabbit hole and I looked at the ad, but then I found the guy that sold it because he's famous for finding low mileage trucks in Texas. And he was like, yeah, it's legit. It's got 12,000 miles. It's got a bunch of things in it, but it hasn't really been used. And so I flew to Texas, bought it, road tripped it home. And then when I got home, I realized it's nice, but it's not so nice that I wouldn't modify it. And so it was a 4.3 liter V6 truck. So once I realized I don't care about that motor and it's too slow, I had no problem swapping everything. So brakes, fuel system, cooling system, engine, transmission, rear end, all of it got changed.
So big powertrain upgrade, big resto mod, the original paint, which is just incredible.
Yeah. I didn't want to, what I wanted to do, because on my channel, we're kind of famous for just massive fabrication projects. And I didn't want this to be that. I wanted to build something that somebody at home with basic hand tools could copy if they wanted to, after they won the lottery. And so literally the only welding I did on this truck was a couple of pieces of the exhaust system. Well, that was it, actually. We made some brackets under the hood to mount things, but that was it. It was a build that happened in probably the last 30 days that welcomed it.
Yeah, and check it out on the channel. It's a phenomenal series that you've got. I love the bed liner, like it ties into the interior, and the interior looks like it's never been sat in.
Yeah, it's wild. So it was a work truck. This was like very most budget model of Chevy truck, GMC truck you could get. So it's an LS truck with crank windows, rubber floor mat, a bed seat. And it was all in such good shape. I was like, I'm keeping all of it. I'm not putting power windows in it. And other than air conditioning and power steering, this thing didn't have much. So we kept the bumper, we kept the vinyl floor. You know, we just put a spray and bed liner because I'm going to put stuff in the bed. But the bed was so nice, it didn't need it. It really didn't need it. I thought, well, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do black. I figured I'd match the interior, you know?
Yeah, no, it ties in really well. So let's talk about the powertrain. That's what our viewers love to hear about. It's an LS engine combo that you put together.
Yeah, it's a Texas Speed. It's based on a Dart LSX block. It has their PRC heads on it, and it's basically capable of 1,300-ish, according to them. I think they underrate that. I think probably could make more with that deal. It's backed by a 6L90 that was built by Gearstar, which they know how I like to abuse things. So they said, go ahead, make 1,000 or more. It'll be fine. It's controlled by a Holley Terminator X. And then it's got the Harrop blower on top of it, which, by the way, is so quiet. I didn't know it actually worked.
Once you get into it, you'll hear it. It's efficient.
I haven't beat on it yet. Like we finished this on Wednesday, put 10 miles on it, put it in a truck. It came here. And in those 10 miles, the transmission programming is not ideal. I got on it once, saw 14 pounds of boost, really didn't hear the blower, but I felt it. And then I went, okay, that's good enough. We'll just bring it to SEMA, and then when we get home, we'll iron out the tuning, and then we'll whoop on it.
So the displacement, it's a 400 and something cubic inch.
It's a 432, big LS. Yeah.
So it's our 2650. It's got the 110 integrated throttle body. Just drive-by-wire, run by Holley. And then CVF that developed this fantastic all-encompassing drive system.
You are the first running driving vehicle with this setup and system. So it's now available on our website for purchase, and anybody else can go and take it. We finished up production and have these things ready to go.
Okay.
But yeah, you are the guy.
It fit really well. I was surprised. It's a lot of pieces. A lot of bolts, a lot of brackets, but it all went on. I didn't have to massage really anything.
Good.
So that was nice.
Yeah, and that's what we're going for, right?
It was easy to decipher. The instructions were good. And really, the only thing we modified on the truck was just notching the frame rail on the passenger side. That's it. Everything else went on.
And so we try and lay things out to work for most applications. You can't do something that works for everybody. It just isn't possible, right? So if all we got to do is notch the frame rail a little bit, we'll take it.
It wasn't bad at all.
And then hitting on his point, the reason we went separate drive is we knew we want to make big horsepower. Well, our previous drive for single belt, they're limited on how much boost you can run when you're running AC, alternator, power steering, the whole deal.
Right.
So you've got a separate 10 rib belt to run the blower. That should be able to take you as high as you want to go. And then, of course, another 8 rib belt to run all of your accessories. So slip stir be an issue. We also teamed up with grip tech, so your blower pulleys also be grip tech as well.
The other important aspect with the Supercharger drive is the tensioner, and this runs the heavy duty tensioner.
Exactly, yeah. So we run a large 10 rev tensioner on this as well. I think it specs off like a Cummins engine originally, and it's got a lot of force in it as well. I won't say exactly how much, but more than adequate to run what it's doing. And then our accessory drive, of course, also has a tensioner. It's got an adjustable puck. So sometimes guys between belt sizes and whatnot, so that adjustable puck allows you to get a lot more tension as well there.
So Mike, tell us how you pulled this together in 30 days.
Well, the great thing about these trucks is you can build them out of a catalog now. Like literally everything bolted in. That is Hooker, Blackheart, motor mounts, exhaust manifolds. It literally fell in there. Stock transmission crossmover for this truck. I just slid it back and drilled 3 new holes.
Yep.
And next thing I knew, the 6L90 was in there. The radiator, I just had to make upper mounts for it. It sticks in the stock location. And that's even the 4.3 liter V6 upper radiator hose in there. Just went right back in. So it was an easy build. And like I said, the accessories were really no modifications other than notching the frame rail. And then they're so tight in the motor, there's all kinds of room in here. Like it's outstanding. I love it.
The Supercharger looks fantastic. Like we mentioned, it's our TVS2650, but the CVF drive system, those pulleys, they look like billet wheels.
Yeah. The mini trucker in me likes the bling. So every one of them looks like a custom rim. I love it.
And Dane, you've got a couple of options for customers for these once it's on sale.
Yeah, we do. So this is our standard polished aluminum option. And we also offer options for clear coating the polished aluminum, which gives you corrosion resistance and UV resistance. So if your hood's up a lot at car shows, you don't have to worry about sun fading, yellowing, any of that kind of nonsense. We also do a black anodized finish for these as well, which is just all black everything. And we also do a black diamond finish, which is that same black anodizing, but we just put all the parts back on the mill or lathe and touch off on all the little windows and features. Yeah, you mentioned being narrow as another design key we were kind of going for. If you notice from the front of the engine, you notice alternator, AC compressor right in front of the heads. So we're following that engine architecture all the way through. You're following that silhouette. So that way this system setup will fit in most engine bays without any major modifications. You know, maybe a little notching here or there, but minor stuff.
One of my favorite features is probably not something most people think about is the alternator, because it makes 300 amps, which it sounds like a lot, obviously.
Yep.
But the truck has 2 fuel pumps in it, and believe it or not, factory tape deck from 1998 still works. So when it gets home, we're putting amps, we're putting subs, we're going to use every amp this thing.
You're going to make all the power, yep. Exactly, yeah. So anytime I know that guys are making high horsepower builds, it's always something I ask is, what are you running for accessories? Because you know with high horsepower builds comes big fans, big pumps, and a lot of amperage draw. So we want to make sure we have an option for guys to never see a dip in power. And then I'll go into one other thing too. Also with guys that run big horsepower, with power adders like blowers, big cams, turbos, they almost always need hydro boost. So this power steering pump is made by PRC Power. It's capable of running hydro boost or just power steering. It will do everything.
So Mike, the big question that everyone wants to know is, what sort of power are we going to see?
I think you'd have to try really hard not to make 1,000 horsepower with this combo. It has plenty of long block, plenty of blower.
Good hose.
Yeah, And I mean, the truck doesn't have a roll cage, so be real. Like, if it goes to the drag strip, we're getting thrown out. But I like doing burnouts, and 4-digit burnouts, I feel like.
Yeah. No, we've definitely got the right recipe for that. It's got a 9-inch in the rear end, so that's going to hold up good.
Yeah, it will make good smoke in 6th gear.
No, it's a fantastic build. Looks sensational. We love the engine bay. It's been great to partner, so we appreciate it. Hope SEMA's wonderful, and thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.